So, you may have seen my video on why cars are so expensive, and you might be wondering, are used vehicles also expensive, and if those prices have gone up? Well, sorry to say, but yes, used car prices have gone up. In fact, over the last month or so, used car prices have gone up about 2%. Although used car prices are better than what they were in 2022 after supply chain issues due to the pandemic, used car prices are actually up 45% since 2020. And that's actually a much higher percent increase compared to the 25% increase seen in new vehicles since 2020. Used car prices have gone up disproportionately higher than new car prices. Today, the average used car price for a car that is about 3 years old is about $28,000. So the question is, why are used car prices going up? Well, I found the answers in a Wall Street Journal article that I read that was really interesting, and I'll link that article in the description below. But basically, it all has to do with supply and demand, which I think is very interesting. The supply of used cars is down, and they predict that it will be for the next 2 years. So why is the supply of used cars down? There's about 4 different reasons that this article referred to that I thought were pretty interesting. So first off, during the pandemic, dealers pushed more profitable new vehicle purchases rather than leases. This led to a lower amount of leased vehicles out there, and we're feeling the after effects now with less leased cars being turned in at the end of their term limits. In fact, the number of returning 3-year leases has dropped 23% this year, which is actually a 10-year all-time low. So the second reason is that more people are opting to purchase their vehicle at the end of the lease because the predetermined purchase price is actually a lot better compared to its market value. Thirdly, new vehicles are now in supply. Now that factories are back and running like normal since the pandemic, there's a better supply of new vehicles. And so because of that, the prices of new vehicles aren't going up as fast as the prices of used vehicles are. Again, relating back to the supply of new vehicles is being replenished. And then lastly, or fourth, new vehicles are still going up and are still expensive, so people are opting to keep their own used vehicles for longer. So the average age that people keep their vehicles is now at 12 and a half years, which is at an all-time high. People would rather pay for maintenance and repairs on an older vehicle because it's cheaper than making payments on a new vehicle. And so because of that, with people keeping their vehicles for longer, there's less supply of used vehicles. If somebody was in this situation looking for a new vehicle or whatever, or a used vehicle, how could they use the supply and demand to their advantage? You could use this to your advantage if especially you have a 3-year-old used vehicle. So the 3-year tends to be kind of that prime target where dealers can still certify it as a pre-owned vehicle. They can still offer some warranty or some sort of incentive, and they can still get a fairly good price on that 3-year-old vehicle. So if you happen to have a 3-year-old vehicle and you want to get rid of it or want to trade it in, want something different or whatever, what you could do is you could trade this 3-year-old vehicle in for either a new vehicle, but you'd get a better deal trading it in actually for an older vehicle, maybe a 5 to 10-year-old vehicle. So you would get a higher value on your 3-year-old vehicle, especially if you trade it in for an older vehicle in that 5 to 10-year range. So why would you want to do that? Well, maybe you have a 3-year-old vehicle and your needs have changed. What you could do is that even in that 5 to 10-year-old vehicle age range, that still puts you in that 5th generation 4Runner timeframe. And in fact, if you have a smaller 3-year vehicle and you want to get into an off-road vehicle, or a more capable vehicle, even though it's an older vehicle, that is actually a trade up. What dealers would like to do is that they probably want to get rid of some of these older vehicles because they know that you might be going to them for servicing that vehicle. So it's actually an advantage for them too. Anyway, there will always be fluxes in supply and demand. I just think it's really interesting to see its effects on the pricing, both long-term and short-term, and how you could potentially use those fluctuations to your advantage. Anyway, just some interesting thoughts there. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. I'll catch you next time. Thanks.